How we doing? I was trying to think of an intro, and I'm gonna ask if this is a good intro, and then next time we can use it. If anything, I was actually thinking this could actually be better as like a bit, maybe in like Counter-Strike or any competitive online game, or even a competitive sport even. How do we feel about if you intro the stream with a catchphrase that is just, I mean, this is obviously stolen. You just say, "Hey, Macarena." Like, what if you just did that? Is that good? So I guess this is a two-part question. Is that a great intro? Is that like a simple and straight to the point? Is it a good funny? You know what I mean? Or if you're playing, like I said, a video game and you want to dunk on the other guy, let's say you get a little good play on him, and he said, "Hey, Macarena." Like, with that, is that toxic enough? Like, I was thinking, thank you for bsky. What was that, 4/1/22? Congrats, must have been your birthday recently. April 1st, 2022. Happy 4th birthday. I feel like this is an inappropriate stream to be watching, but I'm unsure if it's a great intro. Okay, but how about as an insult? If I said, "Hey, Macarena," you know, like, would that, like, imagine in Counter-Strike, you know, you have the noise, you have the music MVPs. I feel like that one could be a good one. Because imagine if you started getting, like, got 5 in a row. Your birthday's soon, though? Oh, is it January 4th? Are you from Europe? I'm unsure it's a great insult. Well, it's a yes or no question. On this stream, we don't believe in maybes, okay? There's no fence sitting here. You're either with us or against us. And folks, if you're with us, then this stream maybe you've heard of before, maybe it's your first one. This is Devon's movie dungeon, where we, it's mostly I, yap about films, cinema, movies, sometimes even television shows, because I sometimes watch those. When are you getting Marathon? Never. Unless someone purchased it for me. But then I don't know if I'd play it for sure. All the extract shooters, like, they're fun until you realize you have to play it a lot. And for someone like me, you know, I already have my one grind game. It's Counter-Strike, you know. And watching movies like what we're doing here. See, I can't get sidetracked. We got to keep moving along. Because speaking of movies, I'm seeing the Super Mario Galaxy movie tonight. It is weird, because Ethan pointed this out to me, that their opening night was technically yesterday. Like, most movies open on Friday, and then you could see it like Thursday night as opening night. And it came out on Wednesday. So I thought I was seeing an opening night, but I'm not. But I did see, well, we'll talk about movies I've seen, but I did see a movie yesterday, and there was a lot of people there, I'm assuming, for Mario. Super Mario Galaxy. Yes, folks, this is Devon's Movie Dungeon, where I yap about movies. We have a loose agenda where I mention what movies I've been watching, television shows I've been watching. Sometimes we watch some trailers, sometimes we talk about movie news, sometimes I pick a topic. I'll say I've been pretty busy kind of this week, but also not really. Everyone at work's like off of work, which has been nice. Not to worry about getting pinged. So it's been kind of chillaxing. But I've been busy in terms of I've been doing some stuff outside of this here, so I didn't get a full fleshed out episode, so I'm kind of winging this one. I'm kind of winging this one, but I think we'll still hit at least 45 minutes, maybe an hour. We'll see. But also, like I said, I have to go to the movies. And I have to eat something at some point. It was initially the third, but they moved it up to the first to manipulate what counts as a weekend box office. That's weird. Did you see Bone Temple yet? Yes. I think I mentioned that in the first ever episode of this. Yes, shout out to David for making this background. You can see my Bone Temple. See, the easier joke is Boner Temple, and you just completely whiffed. You struck out. Boner Temple. It's right there. You just add one letter. All right, let me get something on screen here. So I think we're gonna start here with what I've been watching and seeing. I'm trying to remember what's the last movie I talked about? Was it Bugania? Was it that one? I think it might have been. From 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to skip that one. I just realized Forbidden Siren and Undertone, like from a distance, very similar posters. But yes, I saw Undertone, which it says a 2025 release date, when it definitely was in theaters and I saw it. So maybe they are counting it as maybe it was a limited release, maybe, or like a horror festival or something like that. But this is a horror movie, and I feel like I had to see this because it's basically a haunted podcast movie, and it was very relatable, and it made me think that I think Ethan and I, for a new show we can do on this channel is do haunted a haunted podcast, because basically the premise is, I won't spoil it too much because I was surprised by it. I'll say this because I went in being like, how much is this gimmick going to work, longer than 25 minutes, like maybe as a short it'd be, you'd think on the surface. Basically the premise is two podcast hosts they record like a murder mystery or an occult kind of podcast. So they talk about different creepy stories, or they're reading creepypastas or whatever. And one of them's like a skeptic and one of them's a believer. So that's kind of the premise of it. This is what it was shown in the trailers. But yeah, the movie was surprising because I think it was only shot on a $500K budget. It takes place mostly in one house. And let me see if I can get because I don't remember the cast, because I think the cast is only like four people in it. Nina Curie, Adam DeMarco, and Michelle Duquette. So Nina plays Evie, that is our protagonist, the character that we basically only see in this movie, except for her mother, played by Michelle Duquette. Her mother is sick, basically on her deathbed, kind of like in-house hospice. Is I shouldn't say how I interpret it, is what's happening. I think the doctor at one point early in the movie says, "Oh, she doesn't have much time left." But so she's house sitting, and so she's recording the podcasts at night with Justin, who's the voice here. We never see him physically. Why are you talking over a campfire sound? It's not just any campfire sound. It's a campfire from Skyrim, all right? Know your fucking video games, okay? Okay. I'm just adding to the vibes. But yeah, this movie was cool. Nina did a very good job of having like a good podcast voice. And if you've done this long enough, you know what I mean. If you've done streaming long enough, everyone has a radio voice, right? Maybe I mumble more outside of this. There's she did a very good job of having like that break in character. that when she's like outside of her podcast or recording her podcast, she's more reserved and whatnot. But yeah, the whole podcast gimmick was really cool. And a lot of it was auditory. So like I think if you're watching this at home, and I say this about every movie, but I say this especially about horror movies because they rely so much on sound, at least good ones. At watching this at home, if you don't have great sound, this movie probably won't be much for you. I'll admit, because a lot of the creepiness in this movie, the slow burn, and it's a slow burn throughout. It's a lot of it is tied to the audio. But like I said, acting was very good considering she basically is the only one on screen 90% of the time, and it's shot in one set. It was a fun little horror movie, and I was impressed by it considering, like I said, going in, I'm like, how can a podcast horror last longer than 30 minutes before it gets boring? So yeah, I'd say if you're a podcaster, you gotta watch this. I'll say that. But yeah, I gave that a 4 out of 5. And everyone should know, I think I've said this on my movie reviews, my ranking system is broken, okay? I don't think about it too hard. There's curves within the curves, and it's just whatever. So 4 out of 5, whatever. I do recommend it, though. If you're interested in horror, atmospheric horror, recommend it. Next up, saw Project Hail Mary. One of my early, like, I wasn't like overly hyped for it, but I was like, all right, Ryan Gosling, that's my guy. I like him. I like science fiction. The trailer seemed cool, but I wasn't like overly hyped until I started hearing early reviews that, hey, this has the juice. And I did a whole movie review on it. People should go watch it. It has like no views right now, which is frustrating, but is what it is. You do it for the love of the game. And I won't say too much more because I want people to go watch that, but I'll say definitely a movie of the year candidate. A movie of the year candidate here with Project Hail Mary. Still a lot of heavy hitters to come out, and I'm going to talk about, that's going to be my main subjects tonight, is that Project Hail Mary, you know, a big blockbuster, but it's also a science fiction blockbuster, and there's a lot of, I feel like, big science fiction films, or just some cool science fiction films coming out this year, and so I feel like this year really could be the year of science fiction movies, and we'll get to that. Thanks, Ethan, for hopefully linking it. Should do a movie review of Signs. I watched that movie when I was a kid. I remember being scared by the scene where the kids in the party look down the alleyway and they see the alien cross. M. Night Shyamalan. He misses more than he hits, in my opinion. But I respect him doing his thing. I'm glad he makes movies. But I haven't seen as many of his movies because a lot of ones I have seen I've been either disappointed in or found the gimmick or found the plot twist pretty early and it wasn't very surprising. But I did like the one Knock at the Cabin. I did like that one though that he did, right? I think he did that one. But yeah, I don't know if Signs. How does he keep getting work? Okay. Well, what's up, Cole? Good point. How does he keep getting work? No, I mean, I'd rather him add some stuff to it. Or make movies and I'd rather they exist than not. I don't know, just he has a recipe. I don't think it's great, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like just going to a restaurant, you know what to expect. Gets the tummy full. I've not seen Split though, because I don't know why. Oh, probably because it came out during when I was in college. I saw no movies for like 4 years, which hurts my soul. What was I saying? But yeah, Signs. I don't know if I'll do movie reviews of old movies. At least not to the same level as Project Hail Mary. But I have kind of planned out doing like little 5-minute videos on old movies. But there's a gimmick to it. Speaking of a guy who does gimmicks, I do gimmicks. The Village, I don't think was that good. I rewatched it like a couple years ago. No. Did you see Glass? I saw Mr. Glass. All right, we got I gotta keep moving on. Detention. I'll come back to chat in a second. Detention. We have a movie review of that coming up. Surprising. I gave it 3.5. But I won't say any more. But Dave and Ethan know. And then we saw Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Ready or Not, the first one came out in 2019, which kind of broke my brain that was a pre-COVID movie. Samara Weaving, she's easily one of the younger scream queens. I guess our generation of scream queens. And I'll say, like, I mean, I haven't watched the 2019 one, I think, since theaters. Maybe I've seen it in passing. But I remember really enjoying it. I thought it wasn't trying to be over the top until the end. And I liked that. It kind of, like, built up its lore a bit. And I did like the Satan stuff in it, despite you kind of not believing it for most of the movie. And the cast was good. The characters were good. This one, I thought it was just all right. I wasn't going in super expecting it to be anything crazy. I did like the kind of having a sister character in it. Elijah Wood's in it, which was cool. And he's probably the best character outside of our main character. But all the other characters I just didn't really care for, unfortunately. And I feel like that's what makes these type of movies good, is you need to have good villains or fun, interesting characters. I put it in the same realm as Knives Out. This is obviously just way more of a gory version of Knives Out, but in terms of the recipe, right? You have your, here's this rich family, here's this other rich family, or here's this member of the family, whatever it is. You have that, and I feel like to order to do that, you just have to have fun characters or great actors. And I don't think any of the actors were bad. I just think the characters were just not that interesting, just generally, because all of them were just very much like, I'm rich and stubborn, I'm rich and I'm a dick, I'm rich and I have some empathy. Like, it just kind of, I don't know, compared to the other one where it was all one family, and I felt the dynamics are a little bit more. But at the end of the day, I came for the gore and the fun kills, and it had some good ones in it. But and there's a lot more of the Satan stuff in it, which was cool. I don't want to spoil it, but I did like. At one point, Samara puts on a really cool, like, goth wedding dress. She looked sick as hell. And then, yeah, there's some cool other Satan stuff in it. But yeah, I thought it was fine. I wasn't, like, blown away by it. But I'm kind of glad that they made one. I mean, I figured Ready or Not was just going to be a one and that's it. The fact that we got a second one at all is pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to be a new franchise. I'm not sure how it's doing box office-wise. I didn't look that up. But, yeah, cool. And then yesterday I saw Hoppers, because everyone keeps raving about Hoppers, being, oh, Pixar's back. Pixar has a good one here. This one's good for the kids and the parents. And I went, and I think most of my audience was adults, I think, or at least like 22 and up. I don't know. I think there was one girl sitting near me that was with her mom, and I think she was probably maybe in late college. I don't know. And I saw like other couples, like older couples there. I never heard of this Beaver cartoon like a month ago. Well, I kept seeing trailers for it since like November. And I think there was a poster of it at the AMC that we go to, at least for another 2 months prior. So I've seen it a lot. and I don't know. I've never been a big animated cartoon fan, generally speaking. Like it's not like, not that I won't watch them if someone puts it on, but it isn't like my go-to medium. So I haven't seen a lot of the Pixar or even just general animated movies in the last how long. I mean, I loved Incredibles growing up. It was probably my favorite one. So that was kind of my barometer for this. I was like, all right, is this going to be like Incredibles? If everyone's talking about it, it must be good. And the fact that, like I said, it's been out for like 3 weeks and there are still people coming to my theater to see it. Overall, I thought it was okay. It was definitely trying to be comedic, and it wasn't like anything where, like, I don't know, it just didn't hit the same as like Incredibles did. Granted, maybe Incredibles would be the same if I rewatched it now, but it just wasn't. I don't know, just a lot of the jokes just weren't like landing, or either weren't for me, which is okay. Visually, it looked pretty good. A lot of the like water I thought looked really, really well. Best animation these days is on streaming. Yeah, I know. I still need to watch Primal there. Maybe I'll put that on tomorrow while I'm working. But yeah, so visually, like a lot of like the water, and there's some really cool like lighting in it. And obviously, in the age of like generative AI, I will always respect people who do this type of medium and do it well. That's what Pixar is known for. But yeah, it's pretty. It was pretty like good visually. I really liked our initial cast of characters. It's about a kid who kind of has a strong empathy for animals and of any sort. That's established to us pretty early. And her grandmother is pretty similar. And her grandmother basically tells her to, hey, promise to make sure you watch over this little pond that her and her grandmother would meet at after school or whatnot, to her growing up. Long story short, there's the one mayor in the town is building a highway around the city, and in the last part of the highway needs to be built is right over this pond. So obviously there's a conflict there, and the movie sets up this like loose environmental activism versus, the politicians, loosely, or at least the people, because it even establishes that no one else in the town gives a fuck about nature. It's not just her versus the mayor. It's her versus pretty much everybody. No one gives a shit. Which to some degree I found relatable. I mean, I'm pretty pro-environment, but I don't think it's like as dramatic as this movie, has its setting in, where I feel like most people do generally be like, yeah, the environment, I don't want, maybe it's because I live in Colorado. We care about the environment, I think, here more than maybe if you lived in, I don't know, New York City, right? Like, it's very much was like, because it wasn't like tree hugger, hippie animal activism. It was more of just like, hey, we have these beautiful, we lived in this beautiful area and we're tearing it down to put in this highway that they make a joke at one point saying, hey, this highway will help with 4 minutes of cutting down your commute by 4 minutes. But yeah, I won't spoil it too much more. But basically, there's that tension there. The mayor of the town, by the way, is 100% Gavin Newsom. 100% Gavin Newsom. I wonder if I can find a picture of this guy. All I could think of was Gavin Newsom the entire time. Hopper's mayor. Mayor Jerry. Tell me. God, they're all blurry, dude. I mean, even this. Tell me that's not Gavin Newsom. Come on, dude. Hold on, can I? You see it? And it's all I could think about this entire movie, and it helps that like the mayor sucks, does really suck in this movie, but they do humanize him in the later half of the movie, and it's a kids movie. It's made by Disney, so I'm not going to be like too hard on its politics, because let's be real, Disney politics at best is just neoliberalism, but. And this one's no different, where it starts off being like the first half of this movie is very much like, hey, direct action works. If you see a problem in your surroundings and you're passionate about it, just go and do it. And I think that's great. But then like it starts to be like, but yeah, remember we have laws, okay? Remember that not everyone's going to agree with you, and they actually might be just in the right as you are. And that kind of is what the dynamic starts to become. And basically by the end of the movie, the message is just like, we all just got to work better together. And it's like, so what if we kill all the beavers or kill all the animals? We can find some common ground. And that's where I like I said, my personal politics kind of clash with this message. But at the same time, like, I'd rather kids have empathy towards the environment and animals. I think that's a good thing, especially in our climate change world, where, and this is goes back to critique of it to some degree, of like, the assumption is that even politicians like our Gavin Newsom here will have empathy at some point if you just go by the correct means, or you fill out you get enough signatures, they'll just do it. I don't believe that is possible. Maybe it works 1 out of 100 times, maybe even 10 out of 100 times, with being generous. But when it comes to like expanding cities and whatnot, I feel like even less so. If anything, it reminded me of Stop Cop City. If you look up that was an initiative where people tried to stop a police police training center to be built in a forest in Atlanta. And people did die over that. People got arrested over that. People's lives changed over that. And they went through the correct means at first, and it didn't change because no one gives a fuck. The people in power. And so that's my main issue with this movie, is that the heart's in the right place. I don't fully agree with its conclusions of, hey, if you're just nice enough and you find the common humanity, that they will too. I don't know. I just feel like that isn't, in our current world, that is definitely not a possibility. Like, most politicians aren't going to wake up tomorrow and be like, man, I'm getting paid by all these like corporate backers, but you know what? We shouldn't, expand our military base into an endangered nature preserve or whatever. You know what I mean? Or a great example is they announced that they're opening up the place where the BP oil spill happened, that area of the Gulf. They're opening that up for drilling again, which many conservationists have said that like this will probably put certain species to extinction. Because they initially a lot of them were depleted from the initial BP oil spill. Great example. They don't give a fuck. You can follow all the laws, you can bring them to court, do all those things. They're just going to do it anyways. So I say all that, and I know I'm venting about it, but I'm mostly just bringing it as an awareness to be like, hey, we can think even critically, even of children's movies sometimes, or family movies. But at the end of the day, I didn't have an expectation coming out of this movie being like, wow, it's it's showing that like, hey, don't listen to politicians and blow up bulldozers or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not promoting that. It's not going to do that. So it's all good. But I had fun with it overall. But I don't know if it's a movie I'd watch again. Maybe I'd put it on for my kids if I have kids down the line. But I wasn't blown away by it by a lot of what other people were talking about, but I don't know. Maybe I had too high expectations, but I don't think I really went in. Like I said, my barometer is for peak of Pixar is The Incredibles. or if we're not doing Pixar, Madagascar. All right, Madagascar, fun. Have you seen Okja? Kind of similar conversation about politics. I've not seen that one. I've seen the name, but I don't even know. Is it also animated? But yeah, that's what I've been watching movie-wise. I'm still chewing on Monarch, one episode at a time. It's coming out weekly. I've been liking it. I wish we got more Godzilla, but that was... or even Kong, but I do like the main monster. Very Biollante coded, if you know Godzilla, Kaijus, Biollante. Guy who made Parasite, Bong Joon-ho. Okay, that's probably where I've seen it. Made you cry. Aksha made you cry. Yeah, I haven't seen some of his early stuff. I did watch Memories of Murder that he did. That was fantastic. I watched that last November or October. That was very good. But yeah, I need to catch up on a lot of his older stuff. I do have Parasite. I have the Criterion Collection version of that. I need to rewatch at some point. Ziller Gang. Yeah, but yeah, Monarch's cool. My thing is, like, my barometer for, like, Godzilla stuff is it's a wide spectrum. I definitely enjoy more of the serious Godzilla stuff at this point as an adult, but I will never say no to the other Godzilla stuff. What I liked about the first season of Monarch, and to some degree the second season here, is I do like the espionage, almost Cold War, the almost Cold War kind of battle that it has. I love the secrecy and, like, agency, trying to discover monsters, and I do like some of the character dynamics. I did feel bad though for I don't want to spoil it, but one of the main characters, bro, is getting roasted all episode indirectly by everyone around him of how shitty of a dude he is, and he still makes so much cheating's happening, but that's not even, like, the main issue. It's just the fact that, like, everyone keeps bringing it up on this guy, like, hey, you had two families. hey, he had two families. Oh, did you know that his father left? Just like, it was like one time in this is the only spoiler I'm gonna give for the last episode of Monarch, where they're walking, like, they're hiking to, like, the next location or wherever, and the kids are in the back complaining about their father, and then the father's mother, because of some time travel shit, the mother and love interest is also complaining about and, like, venting about him, and it's just like this guy's in the middle, literally, and they're hiking. They're definitely close enough to hear each other, and I was dying laughing because I'm like, there's supposed to be, like, high stakes. They're like, we need to get to this next location to stop the kaiju from, from the other agency, and it's just like, this guy has to hear this for, like, 8 hours. They're on, like, they're, like, hiking from across the side of this island or whatever, and like, I just felt so bad for him, but it was so funny because they're like, yeah, I can't believe Dad left. Oh, it was funny as hell. But I'm curious where they're gonna go with this. I feel like I can kind of see the roadmap though, to just, like, there's gonna be some final battle, and they're gonna, either it's gonna be Godzilla, or maybe it'll be Kong first and then Godzilla. But yeah, it's fine. I'm not gonna say no to more Godzilla stuff. If you asked me in 2007 if we're gonna ever get Godzilla again, I would have said, no, hell no, we're never gonna get Godzilla again. Godzilla will just be a thing I liked as a kid, and that'll be it. Like, it would be end of story. And then even if you asked me after 2014 if we're gonna get another Godzilla anything, I would have been like, hell no. The only thing we're missing is Gamera. Yes, the only thing we're missing is Gamera. That I really don't know. I'm assuming at some point, yes, but we need a Shin Gamera. We need a Shin Gamera. Hideki Anno should definitely get on that. I don't know what he's working on now, though. He's getting up there in age, from my understanding. What else have I been watching? We started Spy Family Season 3 as well. About a couple episodes into that. Good to be back on a good slice of life anime. Still good, still great. I got Bryn for Christmas the movie after we watched it, and yeah, looking forward to like see where the rest of the season goes. It's sad though this season because there's some backstory to Agent Twilight, because we don't really get too much backstory from our main characters except for Anya. Well, not even Anya. Anya's just in a date, like in a what's it called, a orphanage in the beginning. What's your favorite type of cheese? Your mom. Yeah, because she tells cheesy jokes all the time. Yeah. See, now you'll be afraid to ask another question because you just brought your mom into it. All right. I kid. What was I going to talk about? Yeah, so Project Hail Mary doing very well at the box office. If anything, I think this is like Amazon's like second biggest movie, or no, is the biggest movie of since they've been making movies. Amazon MGM's Project Hail Mary has surpassed $300 million at the global box office, making it the studio's highest-grossing film of all time. The sci-fi film has held strong at the box office with only a 32% drop in ticket sales. I know you see 32, you're like, that's a lot, but most movies go around like 70, 80. 70, 80% drop from like their opening weekend to next. Like, I feel like the average movie is like that. From its first weekend in the U.S. to its second, and a nearly unheard of 5% decline internationally. That's actually even more crazy. Only 5% drop off internationally. That's crazy. Domestically, the film has tallied about 165 million, helping to prop up first quarter box office numbers. Yeah, because I think box office numbers generally are this year, but they have been since COVID. Obviously, you had Barbieheimer that really like carried that entire year. You have, Marvel movies to some degree get theirs still, but obviously, box office everyone points to a lot. But you can look at box office, you can look at everything else in the economy. At least we don't have a Trump Tower in our state. Hey, we don't have a Trump Tower in Colorado either. Velveeta cheese. That's like the most factory cheese, though. I'm not saying it isn't good, but it's definitely most factory, I feel like, after you eat it. There is that, like, couple minutes where, like, ugh, But yeah, I wanted to bring this up just because, though, like I said, I think there's a lot of, I'm so mad Scream 7 did well, dude. I don't know how many people actually paid attention to the fact that, the what's her name was fired for being pro-Palestine. Also just looked bad. And from what I heard, it was bad. So I don't know why it did so well. Velveeta isn't even refrigerated in the store. I know. That's also like that's a red flag right in there. Most processed thing ever. You can go to Jarek's restaurant and order it, I'm sure. Keep asking Jarek to make things. Boo, Scream 7. Yeah, I know. To be fair, I didn't see Scream 6, and I haven't seen any of the Scream movies except for the first one, and I think parts of the second. One episode that just came out, S-Rank the podcast. I never ever plug our other shit usually on here too often, but S-Rank the podcast on this channel. It's a really cool series. You don't have to watch every other one. You can just watch one at your leisure. We'd like you to watch them all, but it's a series where we rank things from an S through F scale. Random things. I have 7 random generators. Why is Trump... Get this out of here. What are we doing? And I'll say Scream. Scream, me and David did an episode, and Scream popped up for us. And we wanted to put it in S rank. Here's a handy link, yes. That's one of our things where I'm like, I wish it got more views, because it is really fun. and I think a great gimmick. Because we're a gimmick channel, like I said. Anyways, random. Scream. I like the first movie. It is iconic for a reason, and it did help bring slasher movies back to the forte. But we're talking about science fiction movies. I said that's going to be our topic tonight. Project Hail Mary doing really well, and I'm not going to say science fiction is the reason why the movie's doing well. I think it's an original movie. I mean, it's based off a book, a very popular book from what I've heard. But it has Ryan Gosling, popular actor, and it's not a franchise. And it was shot all practically. It was shot well. It was made well. And word of mouth marketing still works. And I think that's another big thing that I think I mentioned on this episode before, is like, you can have all these big marketing pushes for all these movies, but really word of mouth is what like still can get you a big hit. And I think studios haven't learned that still, or they try to manufacture it through their advertising, and that's just not effective. You have to actually just put your money into making the film good, both visually, story-wise. You get actors who have range, whatever it is, all those things that make a great movie. That's what they need to put their money into, and actually let word of mouth do that free marketing happen. Because once the early reviews came out and this movie did so well, you wouldn't see that 31% drop off. Like I said, usually it's around 70-80. But I do think this is still the year of science fiction, just because I think there's a lot of movies that are science fiction that are coming out, and I hope that since a lot of them are non-franchise, that will, if they're good, people will come out and see those and give those more of a chance because of movies like this. I think you have the opportunity, if you're a one-off movie, to actually build off the momentum of something like Believe in the Hail Mary. I know my personal, anecdotes or personal experience isn't the real life, so I know like the Marvel movies, as much as I shit on them and I hope they fail, they will still hit a certain barometer of money, and that's just how it's going to be. But for the other movies, their ceilings become higher because of that word of mouth. That's my main point. And I think that's why I believe in the Hail Mary here. Project Hail Mary is doing well, is because, like I said, it's good. And people are saying, hey, have you seen this movie? Go see this movie. People post about it on social media. Hey, this movie was great. This movie met the hype. Hey, people are comparing it to like Interstellar. Go see it. People are comparing it to well-regarded films, or audience well-received films. But yeah, I wanted to point out at some other movies that are coming out this year that I don't have like a... Wikipedia's list is wrong, so I'm not going to really use that. But there is some big, from even big directors, science fiction movies. And one of them is Steven Spielberg here, which is not Backrooms. I meant to watch this trailer, but I think we'll just move on for the sake of time. What's it called? It actually is on this list here. Disclosure Day. This one looks interesting, and it is supposedly about aliens, or you can kind of pick up on it from the last couple trailers. I'm just going to play the trailer in the background while I talk about it. But yeah, it seems to be there's aliens amongst us, and they're coming out to the public for the first time. And I didn't realize, I think is this the newer trailer? Yeah. This trailer implies it a little bit more. But the first trailer, there's like one part in it, and I think it is in this trailer too, where there's like a clergy or monastery, whatever it is, where the nuns are. And they're all like watching the TV as this lady's like tripping out on live television. I'm like, why would they be watching a random Weather 4 news? And then I realized, it's probably their aliens seeing that she's an alien and she's breaking the mold a bit. And yeah, they're doing like these weird like crackling voices. That's why everyone's watching. Yeah, they're all like watching, and I'm like, why would they be watching, a news channel? But then I thought maybe they're just watching a different part. Obviously in the movie, maybe they're watching the president speak or something. But still, I started picking up and I'm like, oh, they probably are watching the news because the aliens would want to be invested in their own interests, right? So.
Do you understand what she's saying?
I hear her. It's gibberish. I can't understand it.
And I can.
But yeah, there's some alien shit.
People are starved for the truth.
There's.
I'm just sorry they made you a part of
It looks like there's some supernatural stuff, but I'm wondering if that's connected to aliens' powers or something like that. But I've seen this trailer like 20 times at the theaters now at this point, so they're really pushing hard for it. So he has the Dune eyes there. Maybe it's all connected. Yeah, here's like the stag with the cardinal. Cardinal usually represents like afterlife or a lost loved one. The stag, I feel like, just represents wildlife in general. I wonder if there's some spiritual elements to this, or aliens are gods, or something like that. I don't know. Do they have other animals? Looks like there's some cool action in it, though.
to the whole world.
That truth will upend all established order across the entire world. If you do this, there's no undoing it.
It looks like the aliens know they're about to get caught, and they're trying to, like, stop it. Because maybe they think humans can't handle it. I don't know. Yeah, this is X-Files.
Why would they do this?
X-Files, the movie 2.
The time is right.
Disclosure Day.
Clear.
Whatever happens, don't you let go.
There's our UFO. So I don't think that was in the first trailer. But yeah, this is Steven Spielberg directed too, so it isn't just produced, because he produces a lot of stuff. That's June 12th, and I think that's a week before The Odyssey. The Odyssey. Which, that'll be interesting. I don't know how hyped I want to get. I mean, Nolan always, puts out at least interesting movies. So I'm not gonna say every one of his movies is always like a banger. I mean, Oppenheimer was fantastic, and obviously, like I said, carried that, and Barbie carried literally the box office in 2024. D-Day for Aliens, yeah, they're storming Earth's beaches. But yeah, I feel like The Odyssey, I'm like casually hyped for it. I mean, I think it'll be fun regardless. It's just, I don't know what to expect from it, because I don't know how much has he done really like a historical fiction before. Now that I think about it, I don't know. I haven't seen Tenet because I heard it was wild and I just never got around to it, but I'm probably gonna watch that before The Odyssey. But the cast is crazy in The Odyssey. It has Robert Pattinson and Zendaya in it, which is like they have 3 movies this year that they're together in, including the drama, which I'm seeing this Saturday. D is for Dev Day. Hell yeah, now we're talking. But here's one of the big ones. And then there was another one that came out that has Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor in it, and it has fucking dinosaurs in it, which, I'll be seated for that. Minimum. It's like Oak Street, something. What's it fully called? End of Oak Street. They just dropped a trailer last week for it. Anne Hathaway's in like 5 movies this year too. She's getting paid this year. 'Cause she's in Mother Mary, which is David Lowery's next film. He did The Green Knight, which I loved The Green Knight, so I'm intrigued by that.
Mom.
There's some like teleportation. I know J.J. Abrams produced. I don't know if I've seen It Follows. I don't remember. Because the horror films I do remember seeing in like college years, there wasn't many, but they all kind of blended together for me. So I don't remember if I've seen It Follows or not.
I think our house.
Ewan McGregor without facial hair always breaks my brain.
Good. Our whole street. Has moved.
Yeah, Dinosaur Cloverfield. Yeah, isn't there rumors that this is tied to Cloverfield in some way? Or was that just a Twitter rumor? I remember seeing something on Twitter, but I don't know how to trust Twitter. But I guess J.J. Abrams producing could be that. But yeah.
Oh my God, run!
And everyone's trying to dinosaur Twitter, which I'm kind of part of. Is trying to identify this dinosaur. Some people think Allosaurus. It has a longer neck. And it's definitely a two-footed dino. Bipedal. The end of Oak Street. But yeah, I don't know anything else about it. Yeah, J.J. Abrams is another, even more so than like Nolan, where I feel like it can go in either direction. You at least are going to get a fun movie, right? You're at least going to be like, I had fun, and it could suck, but you can have fun and it could be good too. Why don't you direct a movie? Technically I have, okay? Okay, technically I have a couple, okay? Have you heard of the Warzone Awards? All right, the high budget award show for a niche video game, online game. I shouldn't even call it a video game. No, I have I did some film classes. I have a film minor, but I did a short when I was like 15 for this one film class I took at the University of Rochester. I have it somewhere still, I think. And it was just this 5-minute short shot on like I think 16 millimeter, or was it 32? I don't remember. But we shot it in a graveyard. And then I did do complete editing for a horror movie in one of my horror film class. It was our final. We had to do a movie, and like we were just put into a random group, so it wasn't like we got to choose. And I wasn't really like too much friends with anyone in that class. So I got put into a random group, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna film this Saturday," and I'm like, "I got an ultimate frisbee tournament to go to. Okay, I can't make it." And they were all like genuinely pissed, fairly enough, because they were like, "What? Well, are you just gonna take advantage of our work and not do anything?" You know, we all had that one guy, if we ever did a group project, who wouldn't contribute anything, and then we had to just carry. We've all been there. But I said, "No, I'll edit the whole thing." And they're like, they didn't really know me, right? Like I said, so they're like, "What do you mean edit it?" Like, I'm like, "Give me all the footage, and I'll edit together. I'll figure it out. And if you have a script, I'm happy to look over and like help with that first and foremost." I don't know how I convinced him of that, but I did that, and I remember being like, "Hey, in the first week, you guys can come over to my dorm and I can show you the first cut of it." And so I did that, and they were like really happy with it. And then the final cut, I remember I don't remember how great it actually was, but I remember we were definitely the best in the class by far. And my professor gave out like awards, like the Oscars, you know, best editing, best actor, best actress, all that. And he did tell us afterwards, like, yours was the best, but I didn't want to give you guys all the awards, so I had to. Because my group mates were mad that I didn't get best editor. There's one scene. This is something I am genuinely proud of. I'm not gonna say it's great. Like I said, I haven't watched it in probably 10 years. Goddamn, I think it's been 10 years since my last year of college already. So, I remember there was one scene where one of our actresses like was looking down into like a well, and then from behind, a dude with an axe comes and like hits to strike. And in the actual cut, he just did like a small, like very slow and small, just swing. And I was able to edit it to make it quick, and it was like perfect footage where it looked real. And I remember one girl in our class legitimately jumped, and I was like, all right, I can hang my hat on that. That was pretty cool. Maybe if I can find it again, I'll show it, but I don't know. I think I have it somewhere on like an old YouTube channel or something. I'll have to find it. Or maybe I have it saved. I might not have it. I don't know. I'll have to look for it. But feel free to remind me if I don't bring it up. But yeah, that was a cool thing, and that's when I kind of learned that I like editing things. Why the fuck did you win Best Editor? Because the professor said we can't win all the awards. I want to see that. Yeah, I have it. I think I have it somewhere. I think I have it on an old YouTube channel or something. I just have to. I think it's because I have like 12. I feel like YouTube channels, so I have to find it, make sure it exists still before I promise anything. But I'm pretty sure it's up there. I just don't want to. I gotta see. I don't want to dox nobody. You know what I mean? There's also that element to it. But I guess it's been on YouTube potentially, so who knows? I don't know. But what was I gonna say? Oh, but yeah, we have this movie, End of Oak Street. I feel like there's another big one that I'm missing. That's like in the fall. I mean, there's the Mandalorian Grogu. I know people are Star Wars'd out, but funny enough, I'm more interested in this than anything Marvel. I probably will go see it. Out of the big franchises, I'll probably go see it because at worst, it's just fine. It's okay, and I enjoy little Star Wars moments because I think I've said this on our S-Rank the podcast. I think the last time recently, like the only Star Wars stuff I'm interested in is like non-Jedi shit. So if there's too much Jedi shit, I won't care for it. But I want to see more of the Star Wars like world and universes, and that's what I liked about the Mandalorian. And I don't mind Baby Yoda, alright? Baby Yoda's better than Baby Sonic, I'll say it. Trendsetter, you know? No Baby Yoda, no Baby Sonic. But yeah, I find that more interesting. I need to start. I have on my list to watch soonish too. Is watch the second season of Andor, which because a lot of people said is like somehow very good at being anti-fascist and coming from Disney. Baby Yoda's an industry plant. I mean, what do you mean? What does that even mean? How can something from a big media corporation be an industry plant? That's literally like all these movies are made from big movie production companies. So of course, yeah. I mean, I guess if it was an indie film and they're like Baby Yoda was an indie thing, then I would. And then you're like, oh, it got big out of nowhere. I would be like, okay, maybe nepotism, baby. Yeah, maybe it's a nepo baby because it's Yoda's son or whatever. Yeah. Well, that's the end credits, David. As Deadpool pops up and swears as the one F-bomb and everyone laughs and be like, now that's comedy at the end. It's the you like this guy. What do you mean it's the you like this guy messaging before any real reactions happen? People thought The Mandalorian was going to be mid. And the reason people liked Mandalorian was because Baby Yoda. I think you have it reversed. I think people fell in love with Baby Yoda. Chappelle Roan made Baby Yoda cry. Yeah, everyone was talking about Chappelle Roan, and I didn't really care for any of that news. Like I didn't like dive deep into it, and I'm like, there's other real world shit to complain about. Yeah, Ethan is hater. But yeah, we have this. It has Godzilla -0 on here, and I'm like, unless this movie has like space version of King Ghidorah, and has some that elements, I'd be like, sure. But then I thought about it, I'm like, is Godzilla science fiction technically? Because it deals with, especially even the, you know, the original Godzilla, like that technically is like about atomic weapons. And Cole, maybe you, because me and you are Zilla heads, is Godzilla actually a science fiction? Because I feel like kaiju movies, I guess, could fall under that. Now that I think, like, now that I really think about it, like, until I saw it on this list, I never really thought about it that way, but I'm like, maybe Godzilla is science fiction. I always would put it in more in, like, a weird offshoot of horror, but maybe there's a Venn diagram of horror and science fiction, and you add in Godzilla Israel. Yeah, he's in Shinjuku. He sits in a hotel. 100%? Have I just never thought about it? Science fantasy? Have I just not thought about it this deeply? To me, it's just like monster movie, automatically horror. Science truth. But yeah, I mean, so I guess Godzilla, that's going to be on the 6th of November on his birthday. I'm hella excited, man. But I'm kind of like, I'm torn because Godzilla -1, and I've been on the record of saying this, Godzilla -1 is the best Godzilla movie. Period. In terms of just like on a movie standard and just a Godzilla story, the best. Which is crazy. I know. That the most recent one is the best one. But I really do believe it is the best one. So I'm worried. I am worried about a sequel just because I don't want it to ruin it. Like, what if it's not good? You know what I mean? Like, it's like the fear of it, the sequel. Like, I'm happy it's happening, we're getting more, but I don't think it needed a sequel on one hand. Like, I'd rather have gotten a Shin Gojira sequel. And for people who don't know, Toho hasn't done like a direct sequel to a Godzilla movie since 2004 with Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, Tokyo SOS there. And that was just a two-parter, basically. They did those movies back to back. And then after that, they did have Godzilla Final Wars, and there was no Godzilla movies for that long. Thanks, David, for popping in. So yeah, So it's already rare for them to do, at least in the last 30 years, to do a sequel. But I guess it was that hype, and it was that good. They're like, and it's the same guy, it's the same director and everything. So I have some faith. Oh, I guess the anime movies, but like, you know what I mean. The real movies. But yeah, I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm very excited. I can't wait to see this first trailer. Everyone's been trying to like, what does this poster mean? Is there anything in the colors? There's light coming down. Is that going to be Mothra? Is that going to be King Ghidorah? Is it going to be something new? I'm assuming Godzilla's fighting something in this though. But yeah, I'm very curious what they're going to do. So yeah, I mean, that's an early favorite for my top 5 by default, unless it just isn't great. But I will be seated. I will be seated day one. Maybe he's just fighting clouds. Maybe it's just him versus the weather. You know, we don't know. Maybe he becomes a weatherman. But yeah, there's that. And then I've already talked a lot about Dune Part 3 there in December. There's rumors that Marvel's Avengers is moving up, because I said I've declared war. That I didn't honestly think it was gonna for sure happen. That Dune was gonna kill Avengers, because it's like the last Dune one I think got 700 million in the box office, which is a lot, obviously. But even the Avengers movies always hit that 1 billion mark. Granted, Marvel is definitely on the downturn, but they still do get decent money at the box office and usually beat out other movies, even other blockbusters. So I was kind of curious just to see them both compete, but I did see a rumor that they're moving up Avengers by a week because Dune has all the screenings, all the premium screenings where a lot of them make their money. So it has Dolby, IMAX, all those. I saw that the rumors are they're moving up a week because they want to get those screenings. Because I think there was like I don't know how exactly how it works, but I was reading that Legendary Pictures there, Warner Brothers technically, well now fucking whatever, Paramount, whatever you want to call them, they're like they already had those screenings like locked, like they weren't like the theaters weren't going to open those up for Marvel. So yeah, I think it would have been fun to see the competition happen. I mean, it still will happen to some degree, but I think Marvel has a lot riding on the last Avengers movie. Because if this one doesn't do, I don't think they give a fuck if it's well received or not. I think they want to make sure this still makes money. And I feel like if it makes less than like $600 million, $700 million, because I don't know what the budget is on that, but I'm sure it's a lot. Because I think the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man has like $250 million budget or something like that. So I think they're riding on those two movies, and if those don't do well financially, I think you're going to see a huge pivot in the Marvel thing, in the Marvel sphere, which I think is a good thing, because they're not great. So, and every time I try to give them a chance, they let me down. Even Spider-Man, I'm like kind of skeptical of. Visually, it looks just fine. Looks like a lot of the other Marvel stuff. There's some cool scenes, but then other parts look way too just that gray Marvel green screen look. So I don't know, but the last couple Spider-Man movies have been fun. So I'm hoping if that sucks, then nothing is gonna bring me back in any capacity. I mean, I'm already out. You know what I mean? Like I'm really just gonna see Spider-Man. That's it. Regardless if Spider-Man is fantastic, I'm not going to be seeing Avengers. But yeah, I was hoping they would compete because yeah, I'm a Dune head, but I'm also like, oh, I hope Dune hits the hype for me too. So like on the contrary of that, but it's gonna be a good December because also Werewolf comes out. That's not a science fiction movie, but Werewolf comes out, and I'm really excited about that one too. But yeah, I think this year, like I said, my main topic tonight was how this year has a lot of science fiction movies that I feel like could either, well, some of them are already blockbusters like Dune is, but then you have these movies, you know, made by big time directors like Steven Spielberg, but then you have some of these smaller ones, and I'm like really curious to see how those do. Like I said, I don't think science fiction is the reason people are seeing these movies. I think and I think it's a genre that's really tough to do. That's a whole other conversation. But I think it's a lot of these movies, a lot of these science fiction movies are, for the most part, original ideas, and I hope they do well. And I hope they are good because I like science fiction. But the fact that I feel like we have so many this year, like not bigger names, but either made by bigger names or seem to have some little hype around them, I think that's cool. I'm trying to think anything else I wanted to say. So I have to eat here, and then we're going to see Mario Brothers. I'm very curious. I saw one. I try not to look at reviews for our video game movies, obviously, even ones that are coming out. So I don't want them to sway opinions. Not that scores ever sway my opinion, to be fair, but I just didn't want to like lower any expectations I had because I think Mario, because I think the first one we ranked I think an A. I think we ranked it an A. I'm curious. I mean, the cast, I like a lot of people in the cast. But I did see one review gave it a 0 out of 10. And I'm like, it can't be that bad. Can't be that bad. Oh yeah, I'm seeing that in in like 40 minutes, so I gotta eat here. This is a good time to stop anyways. Yeah, it was an A? Okay. But yeah, folks, that is it. Oscar winner. It could win the Oscar. Did it win an Oscar? Did the first one win an Oscar? It might have. Was it like best animated film or something? It might have. Because the Minions folks always... Illumination there, they always win those awards. It's them and Pixar, you know, as the kind of big time studios. But folks, this is going to be it for Devon's Movie Dungeon. Thanks for coming in today. Really appreciate it. And having live chatters is always very helps the conversation go and doesn't feel like I'm yapping as hard. So I appreciate it. I wasn't sure if I was even going to do it this week just because of been getting tied into a lot of different stuff for various other things. But it's all good. I was glad I was able to squeeze this in tonight. But yeah, we have on this channel, if you like me yapping about movies, I just did a movie review for Project Hail Mary. That went up on Monday. And then I have some other movie reviews on there as well. We're doing this stream every other week. Then we also have video game movie reviews on this channel as well with Ethan and David and I. We've been going through some really deep cut movies. Some of them were very surprising so far. So definitely check those out. But we also do other random shit on this channel. Ethan does some video game stuff. I know he's been kind of swinging through some fishing games. He's been doing some platinum runs there for his platinum trophies. But we also occasionally we do retro rotation on here. Those ones are always fun as well. We play old retro video games. And then a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. We always have stuff happening on here, and hopefully, hopefully you'll see our Mario review up soon as well. So, thanks, folks, for watching. Really appreciate it, and I'll catch y'all next time. See you at the movies. Bye bye.